Hi guys, Squall here, and today we're going to take a look at this fun little game called Train Yard Builder. Not really sure why it's called Train Yard Builder, because you do a lot more than build a train yard. As you can see, we have what's called an exhibition here. This is a pre-built one, but this is the kind of thing that you can make with it. You can basically make your own little train set in your basement and then send it to exhibitions. That's the kind of basis of the game. You can paint models, you can lay things out exactly how you want them, and then you can turn the trains on and see what happens. It's kind of fun. It's a cool, chill little game, and we're going to take a look at it today. So let's get started. All right. So as I just said, this is Grandpa's model railway. This is something that you're given at the start of the game. Effectively, the backstory is Grandpa dies, and he leaves you his basement with all of his stuff in it, all of his model railway painting kits and cleaning kits, and all the rest of it, and access to computers so that you can buy new parts as well. It's very kind of him. He's a great grandpa. But look, this is the kind of thing that you can make with this. It gives you a blank canvas and lets you kind of paint things and then lay them out how you want them. So that one you send to an exhibition as part of the story. This is something that I made as part of the story. This is a diorama. A diorama is kind of like a set piece, if you like a little example. You can also use dioramas in your exhibition, so you can take these and then kind of put them into your wider exhibition piece, which is useful for making kind of prefabs and that kind of thing. In terms of, the kind of stuff that you'll come across, here's some of the models and trees. Here's some of the buildings at the bottom there, the churches and some of the locomotives. You've got some steam locomotives, electric and diesel electric type stuff. And, when you're in the model painting part of it, you can actually change all the color of these little pieces, and then you just lay them out how you want them. So let's jump into the basement, and I'll explain the basic mechanics of the game. Okay, this is the basement. This is where most of the time you'll spend when you're in story mode. There's an attic at the top of the building, which we'll look at later. That's where you do Sandbox. That's where you're free to do whatever you want. In story mode, you're basically down in this part of the building, and top middle, it shows you money, 12,000 coins. You start with some money, and then what happens is you go to your computer terminal and you take jobs to earn money. So that can be things like this one here. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty impressed with your last assignment. There's some time for a new one. I want you to have a look at restoring these models. So if we accept that, this is worth 187 coin. If we accept that, we then need to go and paint them. So this is the painting station. They basically want them to be painted up to a specific standard or set of colors. And this is where I would have liked to have been able to physically paint this. So I kind of understand why they didn't do it, but this part of the game, when you're asked to paint it, it really is nothing more than just sliding these bars here and assigning the colors, which is a slightly weak aspect to the game, I think. So this is not something that is amazingly hard to do. You just literally slide these along, and the end result is that you get the color that the client wanted for that particular model. So it's simulating you painting them for the client, but it's not particularly interactive in my opinion. Okay, so when you've done it, it just goes, congratulations, you've done the painting, here's 187 coin, and that's a bit more cash earned. So that's an example of one mission that you might get. Other ones might be, I don't know if you've got a diorama one available. New company fitting it. There we go. So now she wants to give it company fitting diorama. So there's always a little story behind it. And then you get this over here. We then press the U key, which will add these items that she wants into our inventory. We're not having to buy these because this is a mission story, but if we were making something, I'll show you in a minute, if we were making something for an exhibition, we have to buy all the models and then paint them up however we want and then lay them out. This is a diorama, so they want a very specific thing building for them. If you have a look at this, what you've got to do with this is effectively slot these in how they want them. Like that. So there should be a bicycle rack that we can put in. We've put in the basketball court. So if we can find the bicycle rack, maybe at the end of this list. Oh, there it is. There's the bicycle rack there. And then we've got recycling containers that need to go in somewhere. There's one. And there's the other. And then we've got a bicycle parking rack that needs to go in. Where do they go? There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you kind of lay them in, and then finally we've got some picnic tables that we need to find. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. We got paid 497. So that is like, think of it as contract work, because that's what it is. You're making dioramas for clients and you're painting things for clients. The other thing you might be asked to do is clean things for clients and then paint them. Or you can buy secondhand stuff for yourself and clean it in here and you save yourself some money. So hopefully we'll be able to look at that. If we go into the shop and then if we go for used, it doesn't look like there's any used stuff in there at the moment, so I can't show you that. Then we look at the mail, and eventually you'll get things like this, which says new exhibitions are now available. So if you go to the exhibitions, we haven't got an active one, but these recycle every sort of 5 to 10 minutes. This, for example, is a Wild West one where you need to showcase a rugged and pioneering spirit of the iconic era. So if we join that, you'll see what it's like. So with this one, it says on the left there, we need to have certain kind of buildings and certain kind of trains. So we need to have the Unity Express 440 on a loop that's been created. So we need to create a set piece that has some specific requirements about it, which are listed there, and then send it for exhibition. And if it does well, lots of people will buy tickets to see it, and then we'll get a lot more cash. The trouble is, you may not be able to do it. For example, that requires a Unity Express 440. If we look at the trains, Unity Express will be down here somewhere, 440. So I can't actually buy that yet because I haven't done the Golden Spike Ceremony task. So I can't do that particular exhibition. So I'd need to cancel that one and find a different one. But if you wait long enough, there'll be something that you can do, and then you can create it and send it in. All right, so there's a couple of interesting emails here. One of them is this one, and the other one is the commission to clean up. So this is a story one. This is going to unlock a whole bunch of models, everything with the Iceberg Cruise tag on it. So if we accept that one, and I'll also accept this cleaning mission, so just so I can show you what it's like to clean stuff. So over here, it wants us to clean certain parts for them. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either throw the building in and then click on automatic, or you can do it manually. So if I do, let's say, something that doesn't take very long, 19 seconds. If I do automatic, and bearing in mind that they want 2 of these cleaning, do you want to stand here and wait like this, which takes a long time, or do you want to do it manually? And if you do it manually, it's actually quite simple and it's a lot quicker. So we'll take that item out of there and we'll clean the other one. We'll do it manually. So with manual, you kind of go in and you take a cloth and you basically rub it like that. And it does it in like look, 31 seconds for the machine to do it, or 5 seconds for you to quickly dust it with a cloth. It's a bit of a no-brainer, that one. I don't quite understand what they were thinking here. But hey-ho, you end up with clean items. And this is a great way of doing it with second-hand items that you buy, because they'll come in at about half the price. And literally all you got to do is just bring them over here, give them a quick squish. There's no fixing stuff. There's no mending broken pieces. There's no gluing stuff back on. There's no rubbing it down and painting it. Like, these are all things that they could have perhaps potentially done if they wanted to take this game to like another level. There you go. So, but it's a quick 189. It gives you a better pocket change. This really is, I've heard it described as a cozy game, and I think that's what it is. It's a cozy game. It doesn't take itself seriously. You can put some music on in the background. You can chill and just basically build stuff. It's about just painting stuff and building stuff. The jobs that you do for clients are a little bit basic and rudimentary, but they basically pay the bills. Right, so let's have a look at the active task that it wants us to do. Now with this one, this is going to be done upstairs because it's a specific kind of mission. So we go back up into this room here, which is where we do kind of contractual work. This is our workshop table. And if you look, and this will show you how you kind of lay things out. So you kind of use the middle mouse button to sort of turn around like that. It says all models required for task workshop iceberg cruise are already placed in your inventory. So all the items that we need have already been added into our inventory. So that will be in addition to the other things that I already have in my inventory. So you've just got to watch out for that because, you know, you see everything in your inventory down here, not just the items needed for this particular mission. So what we need to do is find the curve of, we can put that there. put that way. And a couple of them here, corner pieces down there. And then we've got, I think, that one, and then we've got some more track going out. And a couple of short pieces. Okay, so that's done most of the track for this particular set piece. What else is left? So we've got all these little bits to put in. So we've got these lights down here. Then we've got what looks like one of those signals there. Where's the other one? There. I'm trying to find the rest of the pieces. Oh, there's a load of stuff down here I couldn't see. Right. A couple of signs there. We've got a couple of benches. Picnic tables. A-frame. And then we've got whatever that is. Stone wall. Looks like we've got a few stone walls to put down somewhere. There's another sign there. Okay, here, another bench down there. And we've got one more stone wall left. Okay, right. Now, having put all the basics down, we're then moving on to the bigger structures. So we've got... We can get that church in. We can get some of the bigger stuff in. Where does that one go? There. So what it'll probably do when we complete this, it'll unlock these models for use in our own exhibitions. Right, where are you going? Oh, you're down the side there, cheeky. Okay, that's them done. Now we've got an iceberg cruise to put in. And again, it'll unlock this for us, which is nice. And then a couple of passenger cars on the back. And there you go, 2,400 coins, and we've unlocked 40 models with the iceberg cruise. Sending the diorama away. What that means is, back down in the basement, we can now use those, or we can buy them in the shop. If we look through our trains, we will have unlocked some of... There it is, the iceberg cruise passenger car. And that's how you unlock some of the stuff in the game, so you can make an exhibition. Now, in order to make an exhibition, what you do is you go into table management, and we'll just remove all of that. Now, let's say we were taking the Wild West exhibition. We might decide we could have one of these, and we could move that to where we want, say, like that. Then we could take one of the small ones, maybe, and bolt it on the side. Let's have a look at that. So that doesn't work because clearly I need to rotate it before I put it in, because otherwise we've got that hard edge. So what we do is we lay this out first to get our basic scene, and then we basically build on top of it. Right, so I'm up in the attic. This is Sandbox mode. I thought I'd just basically show you how to lay things out. I thought that might be quite useful for you to see, and also how the trains operate and how you operate the controls and the camera, etc. So this is just something I've thrown together, just created a valley, created a couple of looping bits of track. You can see I've got like a join in there, thrown some scenery down. What we can now do is just basically add some more bits and pieces, and you can see how that works. So for example, this is a castle that I created a variant of, so that's the normal color, and then I created like a green version of it. I mean, you know, I don't know what's going to fit into to your worlds, but you can make whatever color you want, so we can just put that over here like that. For example, maybe have something else over here. So you basically click it, and then you can rotate the object by pressing Q and E like this, or you can hold the Shift key, and then when you rotate, it does it in sort of increments like that, and just lay them wherever you want. What you can't do, annoyingly, is you can't make things clip into each other. So if you've played, for example, Planet Coaster, that game has a lot more flexibility in that you can, you know, take one object and effectively smash it into another to create unique things. You can't do that in this game. Unfortunately, you can just, like, you have to lay things so they don't clip each other. They're not allowed to clip each other. But as you've seen, you've already got like tons of objects that you can put in, just bits of scenery you could chuck out there like that, like a fallen train. You've got benches galore. So we could, for example, create some benches. They can't sit on this part, but they can quite happily sit here. So we could put some benches in there like that. There's even people. Are they in this section here? Yes. So you've got loads of people along here, loads of like rocks and stuff, if you want to just add some random things like that, maybe a couple of animals just to make it feel a bit lived in. And then when it comes to people, we could, for example, put a little teepee out there and then put some random people in it or near it. We could even give them a couple of livestock like that. If I just rotate that. So, you know, you can be very, very flexible over how you lay out your world, which is the whole point of the game, really, is that it's your space, you do what you want. So then you can bring people in, but then, annoyingly, you can't put them on the ramp, but you can put them on here. They look a little bit modern in this setting, but you'd obviously find some different ones. Have a couple of kids messing around, maybe. Maybe he's got a twin brother. You know, just put some people in the station. That one, I think I showed you this already. This is like a little diorama that I created. So you can create these little dioramas, which are like set pieces. And then, having created little set pieces, you could lay out, for example, a nice station, put some people on it, some benches, and then save it as a diorama, and then bring the diorama in as part of your exhibition or whatever it is that you're making here. So we could delete that bit of track and drop that one in there, for example, or just have it separate. Then it comes to the track layouts. If I quickly show you some of the track layouts, so let's say, so if I click on that bit of track and then just remove it, and then instead I'll replace it with a piece like that, then we go for like the shorter pieces. So that's a short straight track is like this, an even shorter one will be like that, and you effectively just kind of fill in the blanks until you get it lined up. And then, having done that, we could maybe take one of those things. I doesn't want to join up to that one quite like that, so that's going to need a little short piece to tie it together, I think. Yeah, bit strange. And then you can create some little sidings here, so we could find straight track like that. And we can probably find some buffers to go on the end, if it's got it as buffer. No. Bumper maybe? No. And no, I don't know, maybe it doesn't have that piece. But yeah, so having done all of this, you create whatever it is you're trying to create, and then you think, okay, cool, can I test it now? Like, can I see how that works? Well, you most certainly can. Right, so you come to the train, you decide, oh, I'm just going to have a nice little steam train. We'll create a steam train, we'll put the tender on the back, and then maybe we'll put a, there we go, passenger car on the back. So you create your steam train, and then what you do is you go into the controller view, and in the controller view you can select, so whatever if you've got on the track, it will list them as trains here. So we click on the Unity Express train, and then we can basically turn it on and off. It will go like that, so we can speed it up and slow it down. You can turn the little effects on and off like that, and that will stay doing its thing. Additionally, we can then affect the signaling. If we go to switches here, we can then affect the track that it goes onto. So if we click on that one and maybe flick that to the, is it the right or left one's going? That one wants to be straight, I think. Yeah, so that one's straight. I should turn it onto this track, I think. Yeah, there we go. And when he comes back around, that will want to be on that part of the track. So if we want him to stay on that, we just speed it up a little bit. So having done that, the train's now operational. We can like walk around and stuff. We've got the points set how we want. We can then go into camera view like this. With camera view, we can choose different options that are listed at the top. So for example, we can go camera 2, which is like a overhead, almost like a helicopter view. Press the U key. It then gets rid of all the overlay. We can also go into first person view, so we can see it go through the tunnel. So, you know, whether you want to create little videos of this, you can, effectively what you can do is create your own model railway, you know, a lot cheaper than if you bought all the Hornby kit and did it in your attic. And then you can basically get on board and drive around. It's, like I say, it's a cozy bit of fun creation game is what it's meant to be. That's a kind of over the shoulder view, over the right shoulder view, front of it looking back kind of thing. You know, you get the idea. And then there's camera 8 like that. So yeah, you can get various camera views, and then obviously while the train's operational, you can come in and just build out. You know, you can have multiple trains on it, but they don't smash into each other, just kind of stop if they hit each other. It's not meant to be a simulation of train physics in any way. In fact, the signaling, there isn't really a signaling. You literally just do it with this remote control. There's no sense of putting points on there. So in some respects, you could say it's a bit limited, this game. Like, it could go a lot further, particularly around the customization of models. Planet Coaster is insanely good at allowing you to create custom models and stuff. I'd like to have seen some of that brought into this game, at least the ability to merge things together. So for example, if we bring up one of the what is it, these like rocks and stuff, in Planet Coaster you can put a rock down, then take another one, and you can effectively like merge them in like this to create almost like a super object. With this you literally can't. They can only just go next to each other, which is obviously a lot more restrictive. You know, you can still create nice stuff, but I think it could have been a little bit better. Also, as soon as you start to edit, it just freezes all the trains, as you just saw there. So you can't create a fully operational model railway like you would probably want to, where you've got all the signals and you've maybe got like a little controller box over here, and instead of having to do this, you can just have a little box and wire it up and say, when I press that button, flick that signal. That would be cool. Also, maybe, you know, changing the lighting, like get some mood lighting, get some RGB lighting in there. All the cool things that you would like out of a railway building simulator like this are not in the game. And that's, you know, a little bit disappointing in some respects. But that's the sandbox mode. Like I say, this over here, you can basically take any of the models that you've got and listed here. Don't know if you can mod this game, actually. Don't know if it'll create third-party ones. But, you know, you just bring them in and say, you know what, I don't like the base color of that. Like, I want a light blue one for some reason. You can do it. You can effectively create what it is you want. Create these like dioramas. So if I quickly show you a diorama. So for example, if we drop down a piece of road like that, straight piece of road, I'm getting Steam achievements now for whatever reason. So you do that, and then we'll say we'll put next to it a nice little house, and for whatever reason this has got a huge Ferris wheel on the back, and you go and we'll say, right, we'll have that as a diorama called wheel. We'll save it. We then come over to here, and like I say, you can paint the objects and then create the diorama, and then when you go to here, there's wheel, and lo and behold, you know, you can drop a Ferris wheel in like that from that diorama, and that just helps you to sort of build out parts of your model over here and then just come in and put them in the bigger scheme. It is limited in its size. Like I say, if you go to table management, that's half of what you're allowed. You're allowed 3x3 grids maximum. So that's the biggest you can make. I mean, many years ago when I was a teenager, I remember my mother was buying a house, and we went looking at some guy's house, and his attic was literally like this. And it had a giant train set. Like, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. We came up through the hatch, which was here, into the middle of this encompassing train set. And even as a teenager, I thought to myself, how the heck is he going to move this to another house? I think this game is aimed at people who just like building little model railways. They like crafting and painting and expressing their creativity. That's who these people is aimed at. The sandbox mode is obviously do what you like. And then there's this kind of career mode, if you want to call it that. But I think you can probably smash through that maybe like 10 hours. And that brings me around to the price of the game. I think the price is around about £16, $20, which I think is a little bit on the pricey side for what's here. You could perhaps pick up this game in a sale and it would be better value. But if you're really into your model trains and you really fancy getting into the creativity side of this, then absolutely go for it. Once these missions are done, I suspect what it'll do is just keep churning out. You've obviously got these big story ones that you need to do. But you've then got just these little things of cleaning and painting, which once you've done the career, that'll be it. I think you'll spend your time in the sandbox part of this game. No doubt about that. But like I say at the start of this video, it's a cozy simulator of railways. It's not perfect. There's lots of things they can add to this. I think they could have taken it a lot further than they had. But for, say, if you get from like £10 or something, $10, I think there'll be a lot of fun just chilling out, painting things and creating your own railways and having a bit of fun with that. Which brings me to the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little summary of this game. Take care, guys. Happy training.